Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of One Pod Life. In this week's episode, I'm speaking to Jensen Hull, who since the age of 8 has been dreaming of becoming a professional golfer. Now, after a stellar amateur career where he won the Hever Castle Club Championships twice, he won the West Kent Club Championships also twice. He went on to win on the Jamega Tour as an amateur. Now, having completed his first season as a pro, we talk through his highs and lows and what he's learned and what the future holds as he goes into 2023. Now, at the age of 22, it was actually really good to have a chat with Jensen to see where he's at. And it was really enjoyed this conversation with him. So hope you guys enjoy it too. And don't forget, head over to Instagram to follow me at One Putt Life and at One Pod Life. Please enjoy this episode. Hey Jensen, and welcome to the One Pod Life podcast. How are things?
Thank you, Lloyd, for inviting me on, mate. I've seen a few good names on here, so it's a pleasure to be on, really, mate. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All good, mate. Quite looking to a little bit of off-season practice and work and a little bit of downtime and get ready for next year, really. So
that sounds good.
All good with me. Thank you.
Cool. We'll touch on that in a bit, but like I do on pretty much every podcast, I say it every time. Yeah. But let's start back at the beginning when I believe you picked up a golf club when you were 7 years old. Your dad gave it to you.
That's correct.
So just talk me through that process of how that actually happened.
So it was really, mate, my dad would take me and 3 of my mates from school just to the golf club when we just go and play 9 holes, and you just want to go every Friday in the summer after school, and you just playing with all your best mates and just want to go and play golf with your dad and all your mates on a Friday after school, and you look forward to it all week. And 2 of us are now professionals out of that group, so it's
oh wow,
it's crazy how it turns out in the end. So that's probably how it really started. So
who's the other one?
He's a PGA putting coach, Jude Hobbs. He's my putting coach, and he's the only reason I shoot a few good scores at times. So pretty much.
No, that's good. The fact
he's very good. So
that's good. The fact that you've grown up. Yeah, the fact that you've grown up together. Must be a pretty good partnership there. Yeah, no,
he's probably one of my best mates and my putting coach. So it's a good relationship there.
I like that. That's good. I also read somewhere that your dad, apparently when you was 8 years old, took you up to the 12th tee and asked you if you wanted this to be your back garden, and you answered no. I would love it. What did he buy a house on the golf complex, or
no? He's just
what do you mean
just
by
saying
that?
Like he just meant so young kid, and you think I was always probably my favourite hole. It's almost like a replica of 12-foot Augusta at Hever, and you just go up there and you think it's just such a good hole, really. And it just means, would you like this to be back on? And 8-year-old kid saying, no, I'd love it, Dad.
Yeah. No, I like it. I guess that sparked the belief and the want to be a pro golfer, just to be in that back garden every day.
Massively. So, spot on. Like,
good stuff. All right, cool. So 7 years old, you get a golf club in your hand, you're going out with your dad with your mates. 8 years old, your dad asks you how it wants to be your back garden. Yeah. I also believe you joined Hever Castle Golf Club at the age of 8 as well.
Yeah, probably about that time.
Yeah. So those early years of you going out with your dad, playing with your mates, and then joining the golf club, how did the next 2, 3, 4 years sort of look for you?
Just playing pretty much. I was still playing football at the time, and I played it for quite a few years after, really, probably to the age of about 13, and slowly I drifted out of that and realised I just wanted to play golf. I was more interested in that. Probably the same with quite a lot of youngsters, really. You play football with your mates at school, and then you grow up a little bit. You have a little bit, probably might sound silly, a little bit more independence, and you really choose what you want to do a little bit more. And that's what happened. I gave up football and I really started pushing on golf probably from the age of 13 onwards.
Okay, that's good stuff. Yeah. So then at what point, because obviously you're only 22 now?
22.
Oh yes, that feels like a lifetime away from me. I'm a whole adult older than you. It's crazy.
I don't know about
that, Lloyd. But at what point did you start to, or did other people, and probably yourself, start to see the promise of actually I could be quite good at this?
I think maybe shot a course record at 14, which was pretty cool. That was a 5 under at Hever bogey free. First time shooting under par as well, actually. So that was cool.
Okay, cool.
That was the first time I thought, I probably could maybe just some signs of being quite a good player, really. So that was the first couple of times, really.
Well, I hope my first under par rounds are -5 as well.
Probably not too far away, look.
Lowest I've been is 3, so +3 that is obviously, but I'm getting there. But
getting there.
Getting there, yeah. Okay, so the achievements so far for Jensen Hull from the age of, I believe, 16, if I got my maths correct. So 2016, you won the Hever Castle Championship and you won the West Kent Club Championship. You went on to win that again the year after, and then also in 2018, you won the Hever Castle Championship again. So those 3 years there, I mean, they must have been really catalysts for you to have the belief that you could actually go on and do something different.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think it's just you're getting comfortable, and in the scheme of things now, you think it's obviously not. You don't think, like, now looking back at it, you think it probably was like this. What I'm trying to get at is playing the tournaments that I've played lately. You think about that now, it probably was beneficial, really, because you think it's just that whole idea, the mentality of you've won something. Really, I think that's such a big thing, really. Even though if it was like now I look back and I don't even think I've won a club championship, but really it's probably there's something there we think win, as opposed to there's no there's nothing on your shoulder thinking I need to win something, or you've got something done regardless of how small it is. It really is. You might not, I don't think about it now, but really probably looking back at it, it's always going to be helpful. You've won something quite a few times, and it's going to help you. There's always going to be a time in a round where it's a bit touch and go, and you think someone's close to me on a score now, and that just, you build probably the level goes up, and when you're at that stage sort of thing, and just the more experience you've had in that sort of environment, the better you're going to be for it. So I definitely think looking back at it now, definitely has helped, if that makes sense. So
I think that makes total sense. You're basically saying that it's giving you the platform and giving you the feeling of knowing what a win feels like and how to get it across the line. That's basically what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Of course. Massively.
I like that. In 2018 as well, you then started playing for England in the Irish Boys.
I just played. That's it. Just played One Nations Cup, which was cool. That was a really good achievement.
What was that feeling like?
It was really cool. I think it was just a realisation of you're getting, of course, there's such a difference between you winning your club championship and you actually getting noticed by your country, basically. You remember getting the call now. I was just having a day off and you get a call from the England boys coach and you think, oh, do you want to play for England? And then when all the kit comes through, it's like Christmas for a junior golfer. So,
how many boys are on that team?
There was 4. There was 4 on that team. Okay. It wasn't like the main England boys squad. It was giving me a chance to show what I got, really, and I've done quite well. I think I finished 30 something, maybe off the top of my head, made a cut, and just respectable, really. So because I never felt like I was quite at the stage of England. I was almost always on the outskirts, if I'm honest. Always on the outskirts, but I think that's good, though, if I'm honest, because it's always, if you're like a child prodigy when you're young, it's difficult to keep going. You think you're the best all the time, but you always got to be, and there's only one person in the world who's not chasing anyone, so it's always good to keep going and push.
No, I like it. It's good mentality. Fast forward a couple of years, you obviously you come out of the pandemic, and you're probably at a point where you're probably thinking about turning pro, but you're still keeping amateur status, and you go off and you play on a lovely little tour called the Jamega, and you go out and win Goodwood.
That's cool.
As an amateur, I mean, that must be one of the highest at the time. Again, looking back, like you said, you probably won't think of it, but at the time, that's probably your biggest achievement in golf. Would you say?
Massively. It was a good field, and really, if I want to, so I was just playing them a few Jamegas to get ready for the season, basically amateur stuff, and then you play a few, and you think you could earn a little bit of money at this maybe, and there's huge rewards for being a good amateur, but it's golf at the end of the day. Everyone wants to be a professional golfer when you're growing up, so you think just get stuck. And then after I'd done that, I thought get stuck in early, and I think Goodwood was a very good sign to show you're not too far away, and it's just when you're playing for your livelihood, it does change a little bit, especially the first few tournaments after turning pro. But Goodwood was especially my dad on the bag, and he was
he's on the bag. I didn't realise that. That's even better.
Yeah, he was caddying, so that was cool.
No, good stuff. Okay. You also, we'll go on to another win you had in a minute, but at what point and what was the biggest deciding factor for you that helped you decide to turn pro? Because obviously winning on Jamega and Goodwood probably made you think, well, I can do it on this stage, so why don't I just turn pro and see what happens? So so just talk me through the process of you deciding right now's the time to turn pro.
I think, Lloyd, it's probably the case of it really, if I'm honest, looking back at it now, I don't think there's too much difference between. Everyone makes it out, in my opinion, to be a much bigger thing than what it actually is. The amateur to turning pro, all it is golf. At the end of the day, how good are you? Can you beat? Well, it's not even that. Can you beat? It's how good are you? And if you're good enough to make a check or good enough to make a cut in an amateur event, all you're trying to do is get better, really. So. And like I say, everyone wants to be a professional golfer, so you get stuck in early. And if I'm honest, when I was at that stage of thinking, should I turn pro? I looked at people around me and who I thought are doing the same thing. And I think I played my first maybe world amateur golf ranking event at probably about 14, 15 and turned pro at 20. So I've had 5 years of played British amateur 3 times, played a lot of big tournaments, and I thought, after winning Goodwood, I thought it's time, really.
Yep.
And I think it's like anything. If you just work hard, you're gonna move forward. So it didn't really matter if I was pro or amateur.
Yep. No, I think that as well, because I see a lot of people, a lot of young players, and I could be wrong when I say this, but this is my thoughts on it as well. I think the earliest you can turn pro, the better, because you're going to put yourself in a situation where you can excel. I mean, amateur golf is great and you can get to a certain level, but there's only so much you can do.
Of course, massively.
And unless you've got the chance of getting in the Walker Cup,
exactly.
Which is very slim, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. I think that is the only reason staying amateur, in my opinion, is good. If you make Walker Cups, great, you hit the pinnacle of amateur golf. But even still, there's probably guys who played Walker Cup that never done anything as a pro, because there is that difference.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, I'm on with you on that one as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so you turned pro at the age of 20. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So then after Goodwood, you then go start playing on a bit more of the Clutch Pro Tour.
Yeah.
I've seen you at a few tournaments, been doing really well. And then this year, June 2022, you won the Royal Norwich tournament, which again must be another massive milestone for you. Again, then your next biggest win within golf. What was that feeling like as well?
That was really cool. So I won twice on the Jamega, and then I always thought Clutch, slightly bigger fields, potentially better. Nothing against Jamega Tour, but it just seemed to get bigger and better fields at Clutch. And doing a Clutch major was really quite cool. That was one of my goals for the year, just to win.
Right, okay.
And got that. So that was really good. I was struggling at the time, and just a few weeks prior, and just golf's a funny game, mate. Then when something good's coming and to happen there, and then what it led to in the Challenge Series and everything like that was really couldn't have asked for anything better, mate, if I'm honest.
Because
it's really good.
Yeah, correct me wrong, would that be your first proper full season on tour?
Yeah, that was this year was my first, because I turned pro in June, July time the year prior. So I played, start of July till October. So I played about 3-4 months, and then this was my full year. So that was cool.
So what I'm trying to get to is that not many people win a pro event in their first year of turning pro. Some take 5 years. I mean, so again, in your progress as a professional golfer, that must again been a really good stepping stone to think, well, I've just turned pro, I'm playing well, I'm competing against these guys, I'm winning. Let's take it another step and let's move forward again. Yeah,
of course. I know. I think, I don't know how I've always looked at it. You're only really as good as, of course, when you're in a high, it's unbelievable, but at the same time, you're only as good as your last round. So it changes very quickly as well. And I think that's why I've won, because you think the week prior I've played awful. I think I remember it now. The week prior in the second round of the clutch, I think I was 7 over through 10 holes, and then ended up 3 over. And you think that next week you go and win. And it's just, like I say, it's that. I think that's what does it, mate. If I'm honest, it's the bad weeks that make you work hard. Really, that's really what it is. You know, and that's when the good stuff like the wins come out. Yeah, if that answers your question a little bit. So.
No, it does. Yeah, no, and it's that old cliche, isn't it? You don't learn from winning; you always learn from losing. So,
exactly. Yeah. So golf's it's an individual, lonely sport at times, and it's just if you can push through the hard times, really, and you think I'm only young in the career of it, and you're gonna have so many more lows than highs. It's just if you can keep going, really.
Now, One Pod Life is brought to you in partnership with Energy Golf, the leading golf development platform. They are committed to providing a service that allows you to reach your maximum potential by improving your mindset, creating physical longevity, and funding your golf career. What they've done is take professional tour team experience and brought it to you through their platform so you can have your very own tour team in your pocket. Energy Golf offers the ability to learn from leading professionals in the fields of fitness, nutrition, breathing, caddying, psychology, business, as well as proven tour winners and many more. There are also courses based around the mental aspects of golf, such as mental toughness, emotional control, and self-esteem. Visit energy.com to learn more, and to claim your exclusive 1 month free trial, simply send an email with the subject OnePodLife to info@energy.com and enjoy. Now let's get back to the podcast. As you're just embarking on your pro career, and it's kind of golf is in a weird space, shall we say, right now, with obviously the injection of Live and PGA Tour and DP all fighting with each other, and unfortunately Euro Pro closing and things like that. So I guess just sort of get your take on it from where you think golf is, and then also, do you think your growth path to the top tour is made a little bit harder because of all this and the fact that Europro is closed, or do you see your way through the mist?
Yeah, it's where golf is right now. I think it's interesting. It really is. Live is basically because of Live, obviously. I think I can't blame some of the players for doing what they're doing, going for the money. You think family, kids, really not. I disagree with some players going. That's my opinion. You think the younger ones potentially. You think, you don't know, some of them might have come from nothing. Now millions can change their families and generations of life. Yeah, you can't blame them, if I'm honest. You really can't. I think for the game, he'll either it could boost. I think it already has rivalry between players, which I think is good for the sport. You look at what McIlroy is doing, right? What you can earn on European, a DP and a PGA, what you can in Live almost. You know, I think you don't know what else is going to come of it, really.
No.
I think a lot of players are going to follow the money, but you look at it, golf at the end of the day for me is, you got to look at majors. Who wins the majors? That's the pinnacle, Lloyd. Really. No, definitely. And if a player's, no one's going to remember a player so much. You're going to remember more who won the Open or who won 35 million on Live Tour. For coming 5 top 10s or whatever the money is. I know where I'd probably, and like McIlroy says, and there was a good point about Zalatoris. I think he said something prior to him winning. He said there's a video and he's never won, and he's got 10 million in the bank account.
Yeah.
Of course, he's had a lot of close calls, but that's saying something, really.
Yeah. No, definitely. So then,
for the point of, go on.
No, after you, go on.
Yeah, so the point of how do I think of Europro and it's going to affect me? I think it's all a little bit up in the air right now. Clutch have just released, obviously, some information, which is great with the invites.
Yep.
If they have cards, I don't think it changes the difficulty. Maybe there's more players, of course, going for the same amount of cards for the Challenge Tour.
Yep.
So potentially, yes, it does make it harder, but I still believe if you're good enough, it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So it doesn't really like you've got Q school still, that hasn't changed. If you're good enough, you'll get there.
Yeah.
So it's just
I just wonder that though, would it make a lot more players go to Q school?
Yeah, I think so. I think if quite a few players will probably go to maybe Alps Tour as well.
Yep.
There's going to be a few different things.
Asian Tour as well.
Asian Tour, yeah, of course. They've got a lot more money now up here, so there's going to be a lot of options what players are going to do right now. So which is interesting.
So that in mind, then, what are your plans for 2023?
So I'm going to dedicate to Clutch. I think the Clutch Tour is amazing, Lloyd. If I think, mate, everything that Tom and the boys do and Tally is superb. Obviously, like they ran 2 Challenge Tour events this year. I can't really fault anything the guys do there. It's well run, and they just invest themselves, and they're dedicated to it, and they just want to be one of the best up and coming tours, really. So
yeah, I like it.
I don't think there's any option for me to go elsewhere.
So obviously you're going to. I say obviously. I'm assuming this is what you're going to be doing. Obviously, like you say, you do the Clutch Pro Tour, Tier 1, I'm guessing, and Tier 2, and then
Tier 1,
Tier 1, and then Open qualifying. That must be on the books this year.
Yeah, I'll do Open. I didn't do it last year actually, but I noticed the last previous years. I've done it for the last prior years and got to final, and you're playing against some cool players. So it's just 3 rounds away from seeing it up. So,
well, you might be playing the likes of DJ this year if they change the way they got to qualify. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And have you got any aspirations of then going to the Q school as well at the end of the year?
I think I've been thinking about the last couple of years, and it depends how this year goes. If I'm honest, like, because even you look at second stage, you're almost playing not far off a Challenge Tour event, and then I'm a big believer you'll know when you're ready to go, and if you can't compete on a lower level consistently, you got to be showing signs of you're a top of, like Clutch Tour, for instance. I think to then really move on.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Well, I've no doubt this year, mate.
I'll probably see how it goes year by year, but no, thank you.
No, I reckon you'll be in that top tier. But obviously the top tier of the top tier. Come the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure it will be on your diary for next year, no doubt. So don't worry about that, my friend. Okay, cool. Got a couple of extra questions for you before we move into another section. So I know you're still quite young, 22 years old, but if you weren't a golfer, what would you be and why?
I've never thought about this really. That's what I mean, from growing up from 8 years old playing golf. And, I really do. My other time is to do the gym, fitness, strength and conditioning. So looking now, I'll probably have gone into something in that aspect.
Okay. That's interesting.
Something along them lines.
Okay.
Really.
Like that. No, that's
just
fair enough.
Overall, just keeping fit and everything like that. So, healthy living and all that. So,
we'll see the Jensen Hull strength and conditioning school soon then.
Exactly, mate.
Okay.
First client, Louis.
Exactly. First client coming in at the age of 50. I'll be there. Right. Second question is, what's the best shot you've ever hit?
Best shot I've ever hit. Thinking about it now, at Royal Norwich this year. It's got to be up there. 16th hole, hold a bunker shot up and over a tier, that was quality.
Nice.
That was quality. I didn't know really where I was at the time, but looking back at it now, it was, even got a video of it. So one of the boys filmed it. So that was quality.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's really cool. I'd probably say, like I say, that was biggest win. So that was a huge moment.
I like it. And then the last question I've got here is, again, it's very early in your career, but let's roll forward 5 years. You're 27 years old. What would you have liked to have achieved by the time you're 27?
The EP World Tour.
Yep. What skill that card?
The EP World Tour. Yeah.
Okay.
Secured card.
I like it. Okay. Good. I'll hold you to that when you're 27. So it's going to move on to another section now, which is the reason why I started doing the podcast was for me to learn from people like yourself, no matter what their age. You can always learn from people.
Massively.
And you're in a position where I want to be. So that's why I started the podcast. So if you could give 3 tips to any aspiring golfer who wants to be able to get to a level of turning pro, what would they be and why would that be really beneficial to them?
Probably have to start with one is short game. It's always talked about, but I think it's honestly even still underestimated. Short game is the thing that gets it done 100%. Yeah. And like I say, you're only as good as your bad score, and like everyone can play well, but short game is what keeps you in it. It's momentum when you get up and down to say par, even bogey sometimes. It's holding parts for birdies to move up. It's short game. Just you look at. I saw a tweet from Justin Thomas years ago, and I remember him saying something along the lines of, if you think your short game is good, get it better, because the PGA Tour's player short games are unbelievable. Something along the lines of that, and you think you watch him chip and putt, and it's quality. Yeah. So he's saying it. So it really is short game. It's what I practice probably mostly, if I'm honest, and this is probably the reason I have done okay at times. So yeah,
okay. No, short
game. I think there's a big debate about distance off the tee. This is my second point, and I agree. A lot of it is depending on the course, but I would say if a player wants to get better, it's so hard to make a birdie out of the trees. But if you're in play, you can hit a good 5-iron. That's what Dad always said to me. You can always you can make birdie from 200 yards out. If you've got a chip out, it makes it really tough. Accuracy is, and that's what my goal for this off season is, to really work on that and just hit more fairways, give yourself more chances. Because when you hit a lot of fairways and the putter gets hot, you're gonna be there. Really, you're not gonna be too far away. So, accuracy. So, short game, point 1, accuracy 2. Third point, I'd say have self-belief. Really, if you're obviously gonna have to put hard work in, and there's always a talk say about players taking it to the range, from the range to the course, and if you work hard and believe in yourself and just have self-belief, there's not much really stopping you, because you think really isn't. You look at it in other sports, really. I think some people might think it's a bit different, but you look at Conor McGregor, he looks like, some people might think he's arrogant and cocky and whatever, but you look at it like some of his earlier clips of him, he just says he's going to be the best in the world. Really, and regardless of the level, it could just be you might be a 20 handicap, you just believe you're just going to get to pro, and you just got that in your mindset. That's what I'd say, just the mindset. You read any maybe not self-motivational book, but like success stories of people, they just visualize, and it's almost manifesting stuff. And I think that's a really quite important thing. Is that I related it to I went through a good spell this year of, I don't think I missed a 6 putt for about inside 6 foot for about 6 rounds or something.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could, you're like manifesting, this ball will go in the hole, this ball will go in the hole, really. And some people might think that's wrong in your process, but you just believe in, you're just seeing the ball go in the hole. There's no other bad outcome. You're just positive and you're just clear in your head. It's like hitting the fairway. You will do this, you will do this. And it's just, I think it's all breeding confidence, belief. And that's what I'd say, really. If that's, I'm not sure if these are the 3 best points to help a person go from
where they are
to a pro golfer, but that's what I look at myself and think that's what I need to improve from my pro golfer to that level. So I can only think it's more so for the average handicap to get to this level.
No, I think you're right.
Really.
And mate, that third point, I'm all over that, because that's my thought process is if I'm not the most natural gifted golfer in the world, my mates will tell you that, but I put the work in and I can get myself to a level that's decent. And I do believe that at some point in the near future, I will get to a level where I can play pro golf. And I'm a massive believer in that. So no, I like that point.
Yeah. Like, I think I listened to a podcast of McIlroy not too long ago, and he said he gets annoyed when people say how talented he is. And I completely agree with this. I think I wouldn't say talent doesn't exist, but I think hard work overrides it by far. You can't say McIlroy is, like some people would say, McIlroy is just so talented, he's world number 1. That's the most irrelevant thing you could say to him. You think, how many hours? The reason he's the best in the world is because of the work he's put in, not because of his talent. So it's exactly like you say, if you work hard, you will get. Yeah,
the talent's a byproduct of the good work, of the hard work. So. Exactly. No, good stuff. Jensen, thank you very much for getting us coming on the podcast, giving us your insights into.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you. It's a pleasure being on, mate. So
that's all right. Good stuff.
Feel lucky.
Good man. Thank you very much for coming on, and good luck for the 2023 season. Oh, we didn't even get on to. No, actually, let's go back. We didn't even get on to what your off season looks like and how you're going to get ready for the 2023 season.
So, I'm going to have to do quite a bit of work this off season, a little bit, just a little bit to help funds and stuff like that. So, I'm going to focus, do a little bit of work on what needs. I've looked at what I need to improve from last year, really narrowed down that and just steam through that. And I think a good part of it is actually having a bit of off time, because if it, at the end of the day, it is your job, it is work essentially. It's your 9 to 5. You need to have breaks, downtime, and so then when it comes around to the season, you're fresh and all you think about is just go do this, really.
Yep. And what does that look like for you?
So, what I'm going to do?
Your routine. Well, no, your actual. So you say you're going to take a little, like a break or an off season from the off season. Yeah. So is that you won't pick a golf club up for a week, 2 weeks? You won't even play golf, or what? So I finished on roughly about the 20th of October. Yeah. I said I wouldn't touch a club till the 1st of November. Didn't do that. I went and played a few times. It's too difficult. I've just slowly starting to get back into doing my drills, practicing. So if I'm honest, I still think it's too soon, because when it gets to January 1st, just hit the ball hard, and that's when it's really knuckled down. So trying to stay fresh for that, and really, so, and she's good. No, good stuff. Right, mate. Look, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for coming on again, and give us your insight.
Thank you.
That's right. I'm sure the people will be looking out and checking out your scores for next year, and see you be in that top half of the clutch, and see you cruise through Q School.
And let's hope. That'd be nice, mate. And hopefully see you there too, eh?
Maybe not next year, but the year after, definitely.
Maybe next year. So I'll hold you to that one. So.
Cheers, mate.
Lloyd, pleasure, mate. Thank you
very much, Chuck. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy. Bye, mate. Bye.